Chapter 23, Walking on Water in Freedom. Steven and Connie unfused after the group left Ninja Garden Waterfall with Armor taking the lead for once. He wished there was a way for him to contact the person from his phone, but he doesn't have her number. The only guess he has is the place where a few people from the other side of the creek go to ever since the Capture the Flag war ended. He once went there with the person he used to be enemies with. Omar, Steven replied, "You sure you know where you're going?" "Yes, it's just I'm trying to find one person who could be at another waterfall." "There's another waterfall," Connie spoke, "bigger than the last one." Craig can tell who he's trying to find, but he's not happy to meet her again. He's unsure if she heard about Steven this morning, but he hopes she doesn't do anything that could lead to disaster. Soon Armor started to remember the trail that leads to the waterfall itself. The more he continued to follow the trail, he heard the waterfall, and so did the group. When they arrived at the location, they witnessed the huge waterfall pouring down but behind the trees. "Wow," Connie commented. "That's a big waterfall." "That's not it. Look down there," Armor pointed to focus their attention. Not only there's another waterfall above, but also a lake that the waterfall is pouring into. Some kids have their swimsuits on if they want to take a dip in there. "Swimming in there?" Craig replied. "If I had this in my map earlier, I would have offered to have you swim here, Steven. I would be happy about that, but I was never in the swimming mood all day." Steven crossed his arms. "This may bring me memories of when I went swimming back at Beach City, and this place is wonderful, but last night has still been on my mind. Still though, I would swim here if I had my swimsuit," Connie smiled. Armor looked everywhere to find the person, however, he's out of luck. Then Lion walked up to him, getting a better view of the lake he found appealing. As he looked at Armor, he wondered what person he wanted to show his group given the history he had with her. "You won't believe what me and Craig went through in Capture the Flag." He then looked away from him. "Even though what you, Steven, and Connie went through was a lot difficult, it was still a tough time before the war in the creek. I would have been more enticing if I met someone who's part of that one, especially the former Kane." Steven walked up next to Lion. "Trust me, if those gems from last night were part of our war on the enemy side, we would actually lose. We wouldn't be hanging around if Xavier took over the creek," Craig filling in. "I can't imagine how you would feel if you came here that way," JP added. "I would take matters in my own hands, but forbidding my powers, just the more mature way," Steven replied. "You would probably not like the way he reacts when you talk to him," Armor said. "His former BFF would tell you everything about him." Then Maya, who just hiked with people from the other side of the creek an hour ago, took off on her own as she arrived at the waterfall. The first person she noticed is Steven himself, who heard her footsteps close by. "Is that his former BFF?" he pointed. When Armor saw Maya, it made him relieved that he found her. "Yes, she is." Maya walked up to Steven while she crossed her arms. She didn't say a word. She still remembers the photo she saw from her former BFF's bedroom where Steven hugged Craig. She knows Craig's around, but she'll give him space knowing he wants nothing to do with her. Steven didn't feel suspicious, but he's still unsure if he'll trust her if she changes after the war. "What's your name?" he asked. "Maya," she answered. "And you must be Steven." When Lion looks at her, he also doesn't trust her, but can see she isn't playing any tricks. When she looked at her pet, she wasn't fazed, like Aquamarine and Ruby from earlier. "You got to prove to me you have at least found another lion who's pink." No, he didn't, nor did I. Connie walked up to Maya. How can we prove that to you? Because I've been through weird things from kids that aren't from the other side of the creek. If I met more pink lions, nothing is really weird to me anymore. You're asking for too much, right? Alma placed his hands in his pockets. I only came here to relax after hiking. Were you trying to find me? Yes. I wonder why. Craig sighed while hiding behind Lion. He wanted to fill in who Maya is to Steven, but interfering in the conversation wouldn't do him any favors. During the last minutes of Capture the Flag, I had a sword battle with her in the overpass, Kelsey replied. This is where I realized that the summers I had with Xavier were all waste. I was in tears, and if he won, I would have wasted more summers. Maya lowered her head. You're starting from scratch? Steven asked. For the most part. We agreed to hang out from time to time. Last time we hung out, we came here to this waterfall. It became her new comfort place in the creek, Alma replied. Maya then walked up to the edge of the waterfall as Craig went to Lion's side. Maya looked down at the lake with the others walking up next to her. I don't usually get comfort before the war happens, especially how Xavier used me, but this almost made me feel better. I couldn't imagine what he would have done if he won the war while witnessing this place for the first time, Connie said. He would definitely turn it into his personal swimming pool. With only himself for company, Alma added. Everyone would definitely go to the beach if they can't go swimming here, JP commented. I gotta say, Maya, if Xavier gave you more comfort, you would feel worse than you already have. I've learned that from experience. Steven continued to look at the lake. Who are you referring to? Maya turned to Steven. My mom. Your mom? Steven nodded while Craig spied on them while still hiding behind Lion. If you're willing to listen to everything my mom did, you would think I'm crazy. I find Craig crazy whenever he talks to me, but the thing is, when I heard about you-know-what from last night, those two gems are way more crazy than you. Steven didn't retort, learning that she knows who Aquamarine and Ruby are. You think they're crazier than my mom? If I knew your mother, no. Do you know where they are? Isn't it obvious? The group, including Craig, catched on to where the gems are staying. From what they heard from Alma, the kids hope the creek isn't in danger in the future. It is obvious, and I'm not leaving until they're gone from the creek. But me and Craig have our own problems tonight. Is Craig around? He's hiding, JP answered. Well, that explains it. Craig, come on out, Steven called as Craig popped his head behind Lion. Come here. He walked up to them as Steven placed his hands on his hips. I don't want you to make amends with her, but you don't have to hide from her. It's more embarrassing than stupid. Maya, when I took Steven out in the creek during the whole day, I wasn't even planning on taking him to the other side of the creek, which included meeting you, Craig replied. One of your friends did that for a reason, right? Just like how a grown-up like Steven's spending his time with you, a person who never went to school unlike us, and who's 17 years old, still planning out his future? Steven felt offended, which took Craig's attention. I didn't mean that, Steven. I know, but please don't say that again, he signed. You should understand it's hopeful when he doesn't have the same life as me, Connie replied. Maya kept her words to herself, not trying to be hurtful unlike her former Kane. I really don't know what I would do if we did something as friends, Steven. Not that I wanted to hang out with you, but Steven then turned to Lion, remembering he has an ability that will blow everyone's mind. Do you want to ride on Lion? As she looked at Lion, he looked at her back. I'm not really much of a pet person. He won't hurt you, just hold on to his mane. At the very least, you can give my friends a demonstration when they get a ride. Not that I wanted to, but what can he do that's unbelievable? Maya hopped onto Lion, grabbing on his mane with her hands tightly. Lion looked at her briefly while not hesitating, jumping off of the cliff much to her surprise. Whoa, she reacted as she saw Lion diving into the lake. She closed her eyes before she splashed, but when she and Lion reached down, they stopped without a single drop of water splashing on them. When she opened her eyes, she's in the middle of the lake. She looked down at Lion's feet standing on the water. From above, the jaws of Craig and his friends dropped, with Steven and Connie closing them. Maya lifted her body up slowly, all the while still shocked in the position she's in. Unbelievable, she blinked. Lion then ran in circles on the lake, while Maya still held onto him. It wasn't difficult, but soon Lion ran faster to the point she almost lost her grip. But she grew a smile, way more than the last time she went to her comfort place. This is way better than anything Xavier would ever give me, she chilled. Were you too shocked when he walked on water? Quake spoke. Yes, Connie answered. This isn't even the only thing he can do, Steven smiled. It's getting close to sunset. You want to see another trick he can do before the day's out? Big time, Quake replied. I got to have my sister meet him. What I'm really thinking about is how Wildernessa would take it if she meets him. For a girl who adores animals, she would search high and low to find another pink lion. Well, there's only one, Alma smiled. Back on the lake, Lion slowed down with Maya laughing in satisfaction. I don't believe you nor Steven are crazy. You and him are awesome. Lion looked at her again after listening to her. Whatever those two gems are, I bet they don't stand a chance against you and Steven. She patted his head. Lion roared, causing a beam to come out from his mouth with a portal appearing, catching Maya by surprise. They went through it as it disappeared. Then another portal appeared from above the edge by drop-off. They dropped off. Everyone got out of the way as Lion flew out of the portal while landing on the ground. Maya jumped off while crossing her arms. Walking on water isn't crazy, especially along with portals. We've always seen he can do that, Craig awkwardly grinned. Trust me, it's not his portal. Something part of him you couldn't believe is possible. Steven leaned down. Anyway, I'm gonna head home for the day. Chances are we might meet again before you leave. Maya walked up to Steven. We'll see what happens then. Steven gives Maya a handshake. And Craig, she turned to him, don't explode when you see me hanging out with Steven. I wasn't thinking about it, he responded. Just don't push it. Maya leaves the waterfall as the sky turns orange. The group has enough time before the timekeeper of the creek alerts everyone before dinner arrives. As they leave the waterfall, the final objective of the day is to get Jessica and find Wildernessa. Steven will look forward to what he has in store for Quake just before they head home.